Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here, talking all about the big NXT Championship match that's coming up at the Beast in the East pay-per-view live from Tokyo over in Japan, which is going to be happening at 2:30 in the morning, 4th of July morning, here on the West Coast. If you're lucky enough to live on the East Coast, you'll be able to get a good night's sleep, wake up early in the morning at 5:30, and be able to start your day with some good old WWE wrestling. I really liked the video that they showed last night on Monday Night Raw, hyping up the Beast in the East pay-per-view. It was very heavily on Brock Lesnar making his first return match to the WWE. It's going to be live on this, what was supposed to be a house show, now a WWE Network exclusive show. It'd be fun to see, because if you've been watching NXT the last few weeks, you've seen really good Finn Balor sort of vignette videos of him transforming from being a normal guy wearing a suit into becoming the demon. It's sort of like the bringing out the demon from within, really building up Finn Balor as a big star, going up against Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship. It was a little weird at the last NXT special. They had the #1 contenders match, which was supposed to be Hideo Itami going up against Tyler Breeze and Finn Balor. The word was out that basically Hideo Itami was the guy that was supposed to win the #1 contenders match. He was supposed to get the shot. At the time, the WWE Network show being live from Tokyo, Japan, really wasn't on the table. It really wasn't known. Who knows if Itami versus Kevin Owens was supposed to take place in Japan, or if this was just something that just organically came to be. Both Itami and Finn Balor have strong ties to Japan. Itami being Japanese, Finn Balor, a guy who really got over wrestling for New Japan Wrestling. Both of them would have done very well in crowd response, and I'm sure, I know Kevin Owens wrestling on the same show as Brock Lesnar will both be looked at as like the killer Godzilla coming to town. Maybe Brock Lesnar getting a little bit more of the crowd response because of a guy who's already wrestled there in the past for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and is a big star for WWE as well as for UFC in his UFC career. Both of those guys being on the same card might not sort of rub off well for Kevin Owens, but we'll have to see how big of a star WWE has really made this guy in his feud going up against John Cena. Finn Balor, I think, is the odds-on favorite that everyone's going to be picking. Easily, you can see that Kevin Owens has outgrown the NXT Championship. He's wrestling on WWE house shows as well as wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, and I'm sure it's a little hard for WWE to be juggling his schedule around, where he's doing the house show loops, as well as being, I'm sure he's not going day in, day out to the Performance Center, but, wrestling on the NXT house shows as well, trying to lend a name. When Finn Balor first won the #1 contendership, it was a little bit weird because it was the same show that Samoa Joe ended up debuting on, coming out during the main event when Owens was having his rematch against Sami Zayn. It led into the big sort of match that everyone wanted to see that we saw a few weeks ago on NXT, which was Samoa Joe going up against Kevin Owens. Finn Balor, even though he's the #1 contender, has sort of taken a back seat. He's had a few matches here or there on NXT television, but I'm sure when it comes down to it, this is the match where Finn Balor is going to be taking the championship and moving on. I'm really looking forward to NXT tomorrow night to see if maybe the Beast in the East is the name that they're going to be pushing on WWE Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and maybe NXT will be trying to give its own little rub to this show as well. In the few vignettes that they've run, they've been saying they're going to be running a show live from Tokyo, but they haven't really given the show a name. So maybe they'll find some name that they can push on it, even though NXT is just being focused on in this one match. Would be fun to see Samoa Joe wrestle on this match as well. One thing people have to remember is this show was more pushed as a house show. and they ended up, just turning it into a big show for the WWE Network, trying to make a big deal of it. I know that when they had the Elimination Chamber show, that was supposed to be a house show from Galveston. No, not Galveston. What was the name of that town in Texas? That they were just supposed to have a normal house show. They ended up canceling a house show in South Carolina, putting all hands on deck. We don't know if WWE is going to be able to do this, so we don't know how good this show is going to be. The matches that we know of as of right now is Finn Balor going up against Kevin Owens. We have Neville going up against Chris Jericho, and Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston. Hopefully that's not the main event. But really looking forward to Balor versus Owens. Balor getting the championship and where Balor is able to take NXT. But then again, as soon as he wins that title, there's going to be people calling for his Raw debut sooner than later. People have been claiming that he's been ready for Raw since he's, came to WWE and gone to the NXT Performance Center. But we'll have to see what the future lies for these guys. I know that NXT is really trying to take their show onto the road, and they're going to be naming names to really headline these shows. Lots of guys down there could be on the main roster to really shake things up. Randy Orton taking a vacation, and maybe having a bad attitude could easily free up a spot for like a Tyler Breeze or somebody from NXT to jump up to the main roster and take that slot.